Bro, look like he probably had a decent ass life, bro. They in Alabama, so they might have been the only black couple in the restaurant, depending on where they went to. Especially if they eating like that. You know he was stealing shit.
This is Jonah Bassard, a Brinks armored truck driver in Mobile, Alabama. The investigators approaching him know exactly what he did, and he's about to find out that his brother told them everything.
He doesn't know anything about this. He wasn't even there.
He's already told us about the plan.
There was no plan. I don't know what he told you, but I was robbed. I had zip ties up.
4 days earlier, Jonah Bassard had called 911 from a gas station parking lot on Higgins Road, voice shaking, claiming 2 armed men had just robbed his armored truck at gunpoint. He said they zip-tied his wrists. He said they took everything. He said he fired a shot at the getaway car as it sped away. Mobile police put out an all-points bulletin for a blue Infiniti G35 with aftermarket rims. They canvassed the neighborhood. They checked every camera within a mile radius. And what they found didn't match a single word of his story. Before we continue, have you ever wondered how much cash is actually inside one of those armored trucks you see at the bank? Drop your guess in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, do it now. This one is intense. Jonah Timoni Dewayan Bassard was born in 1995 in Pritchard, Alabama.
Am I the only one that thought that? Ever had that thought? Am I the only one that ever like put together a fake plan on how I would rob a Brinks truck? I know I ain't. I know I'm not the only one that ever put together an imaginary plan. I know I'm not. One that I never acted out and never will. Yeah. I put that shit together a couple times. Especially after I seen like certain movies. Like The Town. Leave a like if you seen The Town, man. Great fucking movie. And Takers. Takers was one. Takers was one. Oceans, the Ocean series. Great fucking movies. Great fucking movies. What about you? Leave a comment.
Alabama, a small city just north of Mobile, where the unemployment rate has hovered near 15% for most of his life. His father worked maintenance at the Alabama State
15%.
Docks.
15%? 15%. That's 675 people. 15% is, yeah. That's the son of a bitch.
For 23 years. His mother worked double shifts as a home health aide, visiting elderly patients across Mobile County 6 days a week. They raised Jonah and his younger brother Isaiah in a 2-bedroom
Alabama
duplex
too?
on Wilson Avenue, a street where every third house had a for sale sign and half the driveways were empty. Jonah played running back at Vigor High School, not a star, but reliable. Third string most of junior year, second string as a senior. His coaches remembered him as coachable, quiet, the kind of player who showed up early and stayed late but never quite broke through. He graduated in 2013 with a 2.4 GPA and no college prospects. His guidance counselor's notes, later obtained by investigators, described him as pleasant but directionless, would benefit from structure. Structure came in the form of minimum wage jobs, rallies on Spring Hill Avenue, checkers on Government Boulevard, where he lasted 8 months before a new manager cut everyone's hours. A brief stint at a tire shop that ended when the owner sold the business.
Man, shout out to everybody out there, man, that work hard and got screwed by a company, whether you got laid off, whether your hours got cut. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man. Cause it's hard out here for a pimp. Shout out to you, man.
By 2017, Jonah was 22 years old, living in his childhood bedroom, cycling through applications for anything that paid more than $10 an hour.
I've been there.
When he saw the Brinks posting on Indeed, $14.50 an hour to start, full benefits, company vehicle, he applied the same day. Brinks hired him in March 2018, His background check came back clean. The regional operations manager noted that Jonah interviewed well and expressed a genuine interest in building something stable. He started on a training route, riding shotgun with a senior driver for 6 weeks.
Okay.
The senior driver taught him the protocols, how to log each pickup, how to secure the cargo. He also taught him the shortcuts, where the cameras had blind spots, which stops had lazy clerks who didn't count the bags.
Gave him the
Jonah
gang
listened.
gang.
Jonah learned. Jonah took notes. By 2020, Jonah had been promoted twice. He was now a lead driver, responsible for some of the highest value routes in the mobile area.
Okay.
His supervisors praised his punctuality. His route
Okay.
completion times were consistently in the top quartile.
Okay.
He had never triggered an internal audit.
Okay.
To everyone at the depot, Jonah Bassard was exactly what a good Brinks driver looked like. What no one knew was that Jonah had been stealing since his 3rd month on the job. An armored truck is not a bank vault on wheels.
I love how he just dropped that in there like that. What the hell? That nigga was playing their ass. You hear me? That nigga was playing their ass.
It's a logistics operation. And like any logistics
But what goes up must what?
operation, it runs on trust. Drivers are trained to follow strict protocols, never deviate from the route, never leave the vehicle unattended, never open the cargo hold without authorization. Every bag is logged. Every stop is GPS tracked. Every second of the route is theoretically accountable. But theory and practice are different things. The Brinks Depot in Mobile handles pickups for over 40 financial institutions across 3 counties. Banks, credit
This is
unions,
beautiful.
check cashing stores,
Large
large
old ass TV, bro. Y'all remember them old ass TVs, bro? Damn, we getting old, twin. Damn. Old ass TV. What game is that? G? Niggas had VHS tapes, nigga. 2018 was that long ago? God damn. Shit. What the fuck was that? I mean, 2018 was that long ago, bro? There's no way. 2018 was not that long ago. This was, nah, hell nah. Hell nah. What?
retailers with significant cash
For real?
volume. On a typical weekday, the depot processes
Damn.
between $2 and $4 million in currency.
Yup.
The drivers who transport that currency are trusted employees, vetted through background checks and drug screenings, trained in defensive driving and conflict de-escalation. They are not, however, watched every second of every shift. In mobile, a single Brinks driver might service 15 to 20 stops in a single shift. The depot relies on end-of-day reconciliation. Drivers return their bags,
These real pictures?
a clerk counts the totals, and any discrepancies are flagged. The problem is that discrepancies happen constantly. Tellers miscount. Bags are mislabeled.
These real pictures? Cause ain't no way he give that much of a fuck. It's like a dating profile pic. Fucking eHarmony picture. What the fuck is this? The fuck? Look at the gas prices, gang. Nah, hell nah. This was not 2018, bro. Hell nah. Gas prices was not that in 2018, bro. Hell nah. This gotta be a the fuck? Got grain on the picture and shit. He probably did that shit in post or something. Took this bitch with a Polaroid. Nigga took the picture and did like this to it. And he had to develop that bitch. Hell no. Gas price was $1.49. Nigga. What?
Paperwork gets lost between the branch and the depot. A shortage of a few $100s is almost never investigated unless it recurs in a pattern.
Right.
The system is designed to catch patterns, not single incidents. It is designed to catch stupidity, not patience.
Loophole.
And Jonah had patience.
Loophole.
He also understood something else: the secondary passenger compartment. Every Brinks truck has a rear
that's his
cargo
girl.
area, sealed,
This girl
alarmed,
pretty.
monitored by sensors that track
look-
when the door opens.
Bro, look like he probably had a decent ass life, bro. If this not AI. They in Alabama, so they might have been the only black couple in the restaurant, depending on where they went to. Especially if they eating like that. You know he was stealing shit. Goddamn Devin Haney looking ass.
How long it stays open.
Cause in the beginning when he was talking, it do look like him, but it kind of don't. So this was clearly when he was younger or something. Maybe he got a haircut or some shit. I don't know.
But it also has a smaller secondary
Or a
compartment
lineup,
in the
not a
front
haircut.
passenger area, used for low-value pickups, emergency storage, and driver supplies. That compartment is not directly monitored. It's not alarmed. It doesn't trigger a log entry when you open it. And on a busy route, with 15 stops and 100 bags to track and paperwork for each one, no one is watching what goes in and out of it.
Anniversary.
The compartment was supposed to be used for small pickups, a few $1,000s from a convenience store, petty cash from a restaurant making a night deposit. But there was no sensor to verify what went in, no camera pointed at the driver's hands, no audit trail for bags that never made it to the cargo hold. Jonah had been skimming from that compartment for nearly 3 years, a few hundred here, 1,000 there, small enough to fall within the margin of error that every depot manager accepted as the cost of doing business, large enough, over time, to add up to $134,700.
It's like those type of companies, when they move like that or when they put that into their system, I wonder if they like they have the thought like, okay, we put all these people in here, we background check them, we drug test them, all that shit, but you don't have to be an addict. You don't have to have a record to be a fucking human being. You put anybody around $1 million. You put anybody around $250,000. Niggas gonna be looking at that motherfucker like this, you hear me? Niggas gonna be like this. Like, come on now. So I wonder if they put, like, they move like that because they know, man, we know niggas gonna take a little bit off the top, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas gonna skim off a little bit here and there. Or if they do that shit because they really think, like, it just fucking goes missing in miscounts or some shit. Because where miscount come from? Yeah, you got regular human error, but come on, bro. People gonna be people.
Money that Brinks wouldn't even realize was missing until investigators started pulling the threads after the robbery. Money that had been absorbed into the noise of a system that moved millions every week and couldn't account for every dollar. The staged robbery was not a desperate act. It was calculated, rehearsed, and planned weeks in advance. The plan began in December 2020. Jonah had given notice at Brinks. His final day was scheduled for January 8th, 2021.
Oh yeah, there's video effects.
He knew his route schedule for the first week of January. And he knew that January 5th included a pickup from New Horizon Credit Union, one of the largest single-day cash transfers on his entire schedule. Between $400,000 and $500,000 in cash, bundled and ready for transport. The execution required 3 people. Jonah would control the truck and the placement of the money. Isaiah, his younger brother, would be one of the robbers. A third associate would complete the team. The plan was simple. Jonah would load the highest denomination bags into the secondary passenger compartment instead of the secure rear cargo hold. He would stop at a predetermined gas station. The robbers would be waiting. They would rush him, take the bags, and flee. And Jonah would call 911, playing the traumatized victim. The morning of January 5th, Jonah arrived at the depot at 6:15 a.m. When he reached the bags from New Horizon Credit Union, he separated them. The smaller denomination bills went into the secure rear compartment. The larger bills, the 50s and 100s, went into the secondary passenger area. No one noticed. No one asked. By 9:30 a.m., his truck was carrying $489,000 in cash, and the highest value bags were sitting 12 inches from his right hand. At 9:47 a.m., Jonah pulled into Doug's Quick Mart on Higgins Road. He filled the tank. He went inside to buy coffee. And when he walked back out, two men were waiting for him. One of them was his brother, Isaiah Campbell. Isaiah rushed Jonah, threw him to the ground, and pressed a handgun to his back. The third man grabbed the bags from the secondary compartment. 6 bags, 11 seconds. Both men jumped into a silver Infiniti G35 and sped away. As the car pulled away, Jonah drew his company-issued firearm.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone.
And away, grabbed the bags from the ground and pressed a handgun to his back. The third man grabbed the bags from the secondary compartment. 6 bags, 11 seconds. Both.
So you telling me that first nigga, these some niggas. So the first nigga, Rush Bro, and that's a big dude. Rush Bro, threw him to the ground, held him at gunpoint. The second nigga went straight to the fucking passenger side. He went straight to the passenger side. You ain't even go to the back and get shit. You went straight to the passenger side. I don't think that was a good execution. Sir. I don't think you nailed that one. I think you missed the mark. Damn, nigga, at least act like you don't know where the shit is already. At the very least, nigga. You went straight to where you knew the bags was at. Nigga, it's 2020. Cameras everywhere. As soon as they see your ass, go straight to the side. And then they do the math on what was lost. And then they look in the back and they see, oh yeah, these the motherfucking 20s and 10s and 5s. Nigga. We got him.
Men jumped into a silver Infiniti G.
You know how many of us dreamed about doing that shit, nigga? Come on, man.
35 and sped away. As the car pulled away, Jonah drew his company-issued firearm and fired a single shot in their general direction. The bullet went low and wide. Not a miss, but theater. A gunshot that witnesses would remember. A detail that would make his story more convincing. He waited 30 seconds. Then he called 911. He said he had been robbed at gunpoint. He said 2 masked men had ambushed him. He said he had fired at the fleeing vehicle in self-defense. Every single word was a lie. And for 4 days, everyone believed him.
So he didn't shoot?
Mobile police responded to Doug's Quick Mart within 4 minutes of the 911 call. 2 patrol units arrived first, followed by a supervisor, followed by detectives from the robbery division. Jonah was still on the ground when they arrived, wrists zip-tied. Loosely, investigators would later note, so loosely that one detective could slip his finger between the plastic and Jonah's skin without effort. He was shaking. He was crying. He gave a detailed statement about the 2 masked men who had ambushed him. He described the car, silver Infiniti, 4 doors, aftermarket rims. He described the guns, 1 handgun, 1 AR-style rifle. He described the sequence of events with the precision of someone who had rehearsed it. Every detail except the truth. The police put out an all-points bulletin. They canvassed the neighborhood. They interviewed the clerk inside the gas station, who confirmed she had heard a gunshot, but hadn't
You
seen
know
the
that's
robbery itself.
Alabama. You know that's Alabama. All them goddamn duplexes. You know that's Alabama.
They collected shell casings. They photographed the scene. They treated Jonah like what he claimed to be, a victim of violent crime, an employee who had been doing his job when armed men attacked him. The first crack in his story came within hours. GPS
I
data
bet.
from the armored truck showed that Jonah had deviated from his assigned route that morning, stopping at an address on Tufts Road, less than a mile from the gas station, for approximately 4 minutes. The stop
Yep.
was not on his route sheet. There was no pickup scheduled at that location. When investigators pulled the address, it came back to a house later linked to a family friend of Isaiah Campbell, the same Isaiah Campbell who had been tagged in social media photos with Jonah 2 weeks earlier.
Yep.
When investigators pulled traffic camera footage from the intersection of Higgins and Tufts, they found the silver Infiniti G35 parked on a side street, engine running, waiting, at 9:41 a.m., 6 minutes before the robbery, 6 minutes before Jonah pulled into the gas station, 6 minutes before two men ambushed him in a parking lot they had somehow known he would be in, at a time they had somehow known he would arrive, with a plan to steal bags that had somehow been placed in a compartment they could access without forcing open the secure cargo hold. The second crack came from ballistics. Jonah claimed he fired at the fleeing vehicle in self-defense, the desperate act of a man trying to protect himself and the company's property. But the trajectory analysis told a different story. The single bullet he fired had been aimed low and wide, not at the car, not at the suspects, but at the asphalt approximately 15 feet to the left of the vehicle. It was not the shot of a man defending himself. It was the shot of a man creating evidence. It was theater.
Yeah.
The third crack came from a storage unit on Schillinger
At the same time, it could just be a horrible shot. But yeah.
Road. And that crack would break the case wide open. On January 8th, 2021, 3 days after the robbery, FBI agents obtained a federal search warrant for a storage unit on Schillinger Road, registered in the name of Jonah T. Bessard.
What the fuck was
The
that?
warrant was based on a tip from a confidential informant who had identified the location as a place where Jonah had been seen multiple times in the weeks before the robbery. When agents arrived at 6:45 a.m., they found the unit padlocked with a combination lock. They cut the lock and opened the door. What they found inside
Comment, oh yeah. Comment, oh yeah, if you fuck with Kool-Aid. Fucking nigga, what? I don't care. Don't tell me none of that shit. I fuck with Kool-Aid, man.
would become the centerpiece of the federal case. Stacked in boxes and plastic bins, bundled in rubber bands and bank straps, $120,470 in cash. Some of it still bore the New Horizon Credit Union stamps. Some of it was loose, stuffed into shoeboxes and duffel bags. The money had been sorted by denomination, hundreds in one bin, 50s in another, smaller bills in a third. It was organized. It was methodical. It was the work of someone who had been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, right.
But the cash was not the only thing in the unit. 6 handguns, 2 Glocks, a Sig Sauer, a Smith & Wesson revolver,
6 hour.
and 2 unregistered pistols with the serial numbers filed off. 2 AR-style pistols with extended magazines. 11 rifles, hunting rifles, tactical rifles, 1 antique lever action that looked like it belonged in a museum. 1 shotgun,
Hey,
pump
granddaddy
action,
shit.
loaded. And in a manila folder, tucked between 2 boxes of ammunition, a handwritten list, later matched to Jonah's handwriting by FBI forensic analysts, detailing pickup amounts dating back to August 2018. The list was the smoking gun. Each entry included a date, a route number, and a dollar amount. $450, $1,100.
This nigga had
$800.
all the evidence. This nigga had everything. This nigga had all that shit in a storage unit. Nigga, you know how long it would have been till them folks would have found out where that shit at, boy? What? This nigga put everything in the storage unit and then had the storage unit in his name. Oh my gosh.
$2,200. Small amounts, individually unremarkable, the kind of discrepancies that got written off as counting errors or paperwork mistakes. But when agents added up every entry on that list, 3 years of notations, page after page of careful records, they arrived at $134,700. $134,700, stolen over 34 months, in addition to the $489,000 taken in the staged robbery. The total theft, $503,230. Within hours of the storage unit search, investigators had obtained arrest warrants for Joan.
Well, that nigga took half a ticket. That nigga took half a ticket. Point. Half a ticket. Nigga, you ain't take 20K, 30, 50. Nigga, you got them folks for half a ticket. Yeah. Dang.
Within hours of the storage unit search, investigators had obtained arrest warrants for Jonah, Sierra, and Isaiah. Sierra Briannia Overton, Jonah's girlfriend of 2 years, the woman he had been living with since 2019, was arrested at their apartment on January 9th. She had $8,400 in cash in her bedroom closet and text messages on her phone discussing the come-up and Jay's thing. Isaiah Campbell was picked up the same afternoon at a relative's house in Pritchard. He was wearing new Jordans, purchased, investigators would later confirm, with cash 3 days after the robbery. And Jonah was arrested at the Brinks depot 4 days after he had called 911 claiming to be a victim, surrounded by the same colleagues who had trusted him for 3 years, in the same building where he had loaded bags into his truck every morning and told himself no one would ever find out. The confrontation happened at the Brinks depot on Rangeline Road, just after 9 a.m. on January 14th, 2021. Jonah had come in to complete paperwork for what he still believed would be his final days of employment. He had not yet been told that his resignation had been superseded by his termination, effective immediately upon review of the investigation. He was standing at the dispatch counter, reviewing his manifest, making small talk with a colleague about weekend plans, when 2 mobile police detectives walked through the front entrance. He saw them before they reached him. His colleague would later tell investigators that Jonah's expression didn't change, that he kept talking, kept reviewing his paperwork, kept pretending everything was normal even as the detectives closed the distance. It was only when
What you gonna do, run? Yeah.
they stopped directly in front of him that he set down his pen. "Mr. Bassard, we need you to come with us." Jonah's voice was steady. His hand stayed on the counter. "Come with you. I've answered all your questions. I don't understand what else you need from me. We've spoken with your brother." The pause lasted 2 full seconds. Jonah's eyes moved, left, then right, then back to the detective's face. "My brother, Isaiah doesn't know anything about this. He wasn't even there." The detective didn't blink. "He's already told us about the plan, Jonah. The storage unit, the list, all of it. There was no plan. Jonah's voice rose, his composure.
Oh, well, I'm smarter than that. 'Cause I know exactly. I could not work there. You know what I'm saying? Let's say that. So I just stay the fuck away from it. Never, nope. Unless I absolutely needed to, I couldn't find a job, whatever. Yes, I could. And my nose be clean as hell the whole time. However, if I work there right now in this current stage of my life, which is, it only goes up. You know what I'm saying? So like, nah, I'll be setting myself up. Honestly, that's like being a cop and having access to the evidence room whenever you want it, or being a cop and pulling niggas over. And you a nigga in a uniform, like, nigga, I'm not finna lock nobody up. I'm never gonna hit quota. Fuck, never.
Cracked. I don't know what he told you, but I was robbed. I had zip ties on my wrists. I was on the ground with a gun in my back. I would never. Jonah. The detective's voice was calm, almost gentle. We found the storage unit. We found the money. We found the list, the one you wrote with your handwriting, dating back to 2018. He stopped talking. His hands, which had been gesturing, dropped to his sides. He stared at the detective for 3 full seconds without blinking. The colleague who had been talking to him about weekend plans took a step back. The dispatch clerk behind the window looked away. Then he said, "I want a lawyer." Those were the last words Jonah Bassard spoke to investigators. He was handcuffed in the dispatch area, walked past the same colleagues who had waved at him every morning for 3 years, and placed in the back of an unmarked police vehicle. The depot fell silent as they drove away. Stories like this rarely make national news. They get buried in local coverage and forgotten within a week. But the pattern keeps repeating. Trusted employees, systems with gaps, and the people who exploit them. If you want to see more stories like this, subscribe now.
I mean, yeah, we want to see crime stories, but we want to see the actual videos. I appreciate you watching, especially if you made it this far, man. Excuse me. Yeah.